So, gonna be totally honest, I don't actually remember what I was supposed to be looking for here. Just that there was a request to review this replay. Let's go see. Oh! Oh, it's a Riflam matchup. Oh, this will be fun. Okay. Let's... Does this look right? Yeah. Okay, this should look right. Alright, here we go. Okay, so we have Magdelina versus Riflam. This is an interesting game. They're both ramp characters. Magdelina is more of a generalized ramp. Riflam is going to be ramping very specific things.
Prepare to face judgment.
Yeah.
What do you
I
hope
believe
to gain
this is
from
post
more
buff.
violence?
Okay, I'm gonna turn that down just a hair, actually. All right, so already we're looking at.
So be it.
Yeah, hush. Okay, so he dropped shot, which is surprising because it's confirmed against Magdelina, and strike, which is completely unsurprising. Switch and substantial. Substantial is a little bit surprising, gonna be honest, but you don't really need it beat 1. It's better to have beat 2. It's usually damage, which is nice to have. But I guess against Magdelina it's a little bit wasteful, so it's fine. Anyway, he probably runs, experimental drive is like the boring thing. That's a super boring thing. But experimental drive, anti-power if he wants, or residual drive. Because, basically Riflam right now can play without paying much attention to Magdelina, I think. Although if he kept shot, it'd be easier. Yeah, experimental drive is stun guard 3, so he should actually throw some stun guard on that to cover the spiritual drive threats. Residual install is okay. Not really, no. Not in beat 1. No. If I wanted to install, I would do alchemic install, which actually is not too bad. Alchemic install plus reagents. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on how much you respect spiritual drive. I think in order to respect spiritual drive, he should run the... Okay, so strike is down and shot is down. That's so weird, though. She's threatening burst, so he shouldn't play a grasp. So I guess he plays alchemic drive, which feels a little bit wasteful. But, yeah, so alchemic drive or then experimental drive with extra stun guard, which is actually not too bad an investment, honestly. It is Magdelina, after all. As for her, does she actually run spiritual? I don't really think so, because he has ways to play safe against it. If she had strike, I would probably actually consider playing the strike here, as it is. Blessing is probably the play. Is it beat 1 safety blessing time? Man, that's really boring, but I think it's probably correct in this matchup. Is beat 1 safety blessing. Because if he plays the grasp, he quote-unquote loses to burst. He doesn't lose by much, but if he does nothing and if they both do nothing, Magdelina wins the beat. If all he buffs is grasp, Magdelina probably wins the beat. Alchemic install. Oh, okay. Alchemic install is okay. I don't really want to clash install early on. But anyway, so for Magdelina, I feel like a lot of things are fairly risky. But on the assumption that Riflam is playing super safe, then he's going to run alchemic drive, which means that she should actually just play spiritual shot. So I guess that's the play. If he's playing less safely than that, then she should play safety burst or no, switch burst. Range? Transformative install? What disrespect is this nonsense? Wow. Okay. So, yeah, so Spiritual Shot would have blown him up in a massive way, and he would have rightly deserved it. This is the dumbest, gutsiest opening. So I can appreciate that. She plays Sanctimonious Dodge, I guess looking to what? To what? What does this do? Is it the residual install flash? Is it just to have a dodge? Just having a dodge is not good enough, I think. Because Riflam will ramp faster than you if he has the opportunity to do so. And you just gave him a free install beat, and it's like, this is bad. Not convinced this was a good plan. I also like Sanctimonious. I guess she's just playing standard Magdelina line, which is like dodge as much as you can, which is worrisome. I'd much rather have gotten off the, what do you call? Blessing, safety blessing here. So Riflam's off to an incredibly good start. Like an unreasonably good start that he doesn't deserve. Like, he really doesn't. What?
Shatter.
I don't need to be connected to the server. I'm reviewing a...
Show me the path, guardian of heroes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of bad. Well, he has strike down, but like, this is bad. This should have been her dodge beat. Too late now. What do we make of it? Alright, so burst is bad for her. He doesn't have the range reagents, so he plays, what, Alchemic Grasp and walks away? Or, yeah, strike is down. So he either plays Experimental Shot or Alchemic Grasp is my guess. There's no point in him driving here. It's actually not good. He doesn't want to be at the corner. He wants to be in the center. So, based on that, she runs... Does she have a plus range style? Other than Sanctimonious? Excelsius. Excelsius Shot is okay. Excelsius Blessing is probably the way to go. I would run Excelsius Blessing, I think.
Let's try this.
I don't think he's throwing big damage, but then again, I wouldn't have expected that turn one play. He might just be trying to rush her down, which is kind of funny. What is that, safety shot then? Yeah, safety shot. Residual Grasp. This is weird. Okay, so he's going to push her to the wall and then interbeat retreat so that he can hug the center.
Stand down.
Yeah, this is not good.
Curses.
Okay.
Away.
Yeah, that's pretty much correct for him.
Let us
Advancing
move.
2 is correct for her. Lets her threaten spiritual optimally. Okay,
Let
so
them fall before my blade.
he has grasp buffing in a big way and install buffing in a big way. So he's going to save Alchemic for playing install next beat, or he might play experimental. But like experimental Alchemic install is playing next beat, he's going to play install on rotation. Otherwise, there's no point in playing install beat 1, basically. So honestly, this beat is probably the dodge beat for him. Experimental dodge if he dodges. No, never mind. He just shouldn't dodge here ever against her, and not until late game. I mean, not ever. So okay, so he probably runs. He can't run range actually. Okay, so what priority is her burst that he expects her to play? She plays Excel Burst. That's priority. Oh lord, what priority is that? Minus. So printed 0, actually 1, right? Yeah, he doesn't dodge unless he has to. But yeah, so actually prio 1 means he plays Experimental Strike, which clashes the likeliest burst, and then beats a lot of other things, and she can beat it with just a switch burst, right? Now, if he plays something more sensible, and so far I haven't been correct in any of his reads, right? Like, she's making plays that are easier to predict, he's making plays that are harder to predict. So if that's the case, what do we think? I think he throws shot then? Experimental shot? Experimental shot is the play in that case.
So be it.
Substantial strike. He's crazier than I ever would have imagined. Okay. Alright, well, she plays XL Strike, which is better than if she'd played Blessing, which was my suggestion. But
Accept judgment.
Curses.
This is bad for her. It's not as bad for her as if she played the Blessing,
Lend
though.
me power,
So I guess there's that. Okay.
So be it.
Yeah. That's just
Increasing resilience.
I'm pausing a replay. It doesn't want me to do that. Yeah, so he's anting Stun Guard here, so which we already expected, right? We knew this was going to be like the experimental install beat. And she doesn't have access to Spiritual Strike, which is, I think, the actual heavy punish. So does she play a Blessing? Can she play a Blessing? Blessing is actually kind of bad for her. I think she plays... So, okay, what's his install? His install is Prince of Power 4? No, Prince of Power, like, 2, 3, 4. Prince of Power 6 or something? It's something dumb, right? Because he got to double both transformative and... Oh, no. He started with Morvain. So it's Prince of Power 4, range 1 to 3. Okay, but speed 2, which means, yeah, Experimental Hero is priority 0. Stun Guard 3 goes up to 5. So Spiritual Strike can't even stun that, actually. 3 goes up to 5, that is after Stun Guard anti, because you anti-Stun Guard if you're doing that. Like, obviously. And then he should anti the Prio token or the Power token, probably the Power token. So that makes it priority 0, right? So she runs something with Prince of Prio 0. What is that? Spiritual Burst? Clash out the install, and then she gets to go into a drive, which is actually kind of awkward for him to deal with because she's higher and he doesn't have good stun guard. It's probably fine. Finally, experimental install. Priestess. Not what. No. Oh, but I was wrong about her prio anyway. Is Priestess printed 0? Wait. Duh, she's level 1. This is hard. Alright. Okay, so then actually she had to do Sanctimonious Burst, which is a lot worse on the class chain than Priestess. So yeah. He's on rotation now. I think it's actually at the point where she can't beat him.
Be judged!
Like, normally this wouldn't look that bad, but...
That won't stop me.
That's... I mean, he is install at a level that she can't deal with anymore.
Come forth, my guardian.
She needed to play at least one blessing in this rotation at this point.
Behold,
that's,
your
I think, the main
end
problem.
has come.
But he had a really ballsy beat 1, and it's paying off in spades, so I guess that's only fair. I don't know if it's that bad for Maggie. It looks really bad right now, but I feel like it's that he banked hard on the beat 1 read because that attack he played was insane. But it worked, and it set him up, and that's what you need. And then she kind of didn't make the next 2 reads, and that's that. Okay, so can she recover? Right? Like, I might just concede here if I'm her. Well, I don't actually, because that's no fun. I'd be silly. But okay, so which beat is this? Strike, substantial. By rights, it's a dodge beat, but apparently he doesn't want to dodge, so this is like a residual grasp or something. Is he just going to play on rotation? That'd be really disappointing. Alchemic Grasp plus range is the standard play, so he doesn't run that, right? I expect him to run residual shot anti-stun guard and just keep throwing damage at her. No, maybe he is running the standard play. Oh, he actually ran the standard play. Okay, cool. This is rough.
Come.
She actually could have beat this, right? 6, 7, 8? Yeah. Okay,
Transmute.
so she covers this with Spiritual Grasp. But, like, okay, so she hasn't played Spiritual and she hasn't played Blessing. And it feels like those are the 2 problems that she's had.
So be it.
That this was actually an opponent that she needed to play it against. And that's more of an opponent thing than a matchup thing. Because you don't know what your opponent respects, right? If he had played the way that I would expect him to play, he would cover Spiritual. But he didn't. At all. Multiple times, I think. So, since he hasn't been respecting Spiritual very much... Well, actually, no, he's reached a point where he doesn't have to respect it, right? Now he plays the Strike again. The obvious play for her is the Burst. At this point, I suspect that he doesn't... I don't know. Spiritual Strike is extremely greedy here. He should play a drive. The question is, will he? I feel like what Magdelina should do is play the Burst just to force the drive. She'll end up cornered and damaged, but then she has a valid mix-up with her finisher that he has some trouble with. Not a lot of trouble, but at least some trouble, because his fast grasp is down, alchemic is down. I think the prior radiant's down. Let's see. No, it's not. Okay. Anyway, so like I feel like his play should be the drive, and her play should be the burst. Now, if he is playing the drive, then she plays. Can she outspeed that? Or does she just clash that if she plays Spiritual Grasp? What is Spiritual Grasp right now? It is priority 8. What is Substantial Grasp? It is priority 7, 8 if he antes. So she clashes. She goes into drive. Her drive is down. No, she goes into strike. He goes into burst. That's not good for... Okay, well, it becomes a mix-up from there, right? That's actually fine. Substantial drive is not super safe because Spiritual exists. Now, she hasn't been willing to play Spiritual. So, we'll find out in a minute here if she's willing to play Spiritual. But I think it's basically the burst, drive, Spiritual Grasp is
Lady
the
of
mix-up.
Light, grant me strength.
Sharpening.
This isn't good for her. Okay, so again we have an insane play that I would not have expected, which is Transformative Drive. I don't know if this was a read or not. He plays a drive and not the drive that I think. So Excelsior Strike is going to clash. She can jump 2 into Grasp, and he can't outspeed, right? And I don't think his shot has stats. So does she actually win this, or does he dodge? Okay, so that's the question, right? Does he clash and a dodge? I feel like... wait. He antied. Wow. This is such an unsafe play. Okay, so against this opponent, I like 100% the play is actually hit him with Spiritual because he's not respecting Spiritual. Let's begin. And we've seen multiple beats pass, like 3 or 4 beats at least, that he just hasn't respected Spiritual. And here's yet another one. So, yeah.
Now accept judgment.
That's bad. Should she have pushed him here? No. I think this was the correct positioning.
Lend me power,
like,
saint
if
of
she pushes him,
justice.
she just helps him set up an undodgeable shot. So that's not good. Alright, so finisher's the mix-up. Finisher ignores stun guard, right? So it's a valid option, but it's only prio 6, I think. Which actually, his fast cards are mostly down. And she can afford to ante. So, okay, finisher's a viable option. The way this guy's playing, I kind of just expect him to play, what, residual burst? Because then his end beat position lets him set up the unbeatable stuff. But he might just play bloody install again, because he's very, very confident. Yeah, install is slow. So, like, she goes up, what, net 2 levels? No, she actually stays at level 3 if she hits with the finisher and stuns, but deals 4 damage. But then he has grasp, and if he runs install, he'll also have range on it. So actually, I feel like the play for him is install, even though he gets stunned, because he wins next beat. Probably, because her dodge will be down, right? So what's the play for her given that he runs install, right? He has a range 1 to 3 unstunnable install. Okay, so the play is Spiritual Drive, which is power 4, 5, 6. Spiritual Drive anti-power.
I wonder.
Lady of Light, grant me strength.
Okay. So she did the thing that I would have expected. And of course, he's just not doing the thing that we would have expected. So, fair. That's a fair call. Yep.
Let's begin.
Would have expected him to advance 1, honestly. Oh, never mind.
Come.
No, sorry, I didn't realize.
By
Yeah, he
the
can
light
retreat
of
1.
heaven.
He has now a undodgeable. He's an undodgeable something. What is it? Is it a shot? I guess it's a shot. Because install is only range 1 of 4. Right? Only effective range 1 of 4. So I think he has to run experimental shot, anti-stun guard, and then he's covered.
This could be it.
Does she dodge anyway? No, he plays the experimental install. He doesn't respect the dodge. Alright, she plays against it. Against the experimental install. Except she doesn't. What was she playing against? She needed to anti-power if she was going to stun the install, and then he had to stun guard. Sorry, if she was going to stun the shot, right? Because the experimental shot would have been 3, 4, 5. Well, then he antis power, I guess. So no, wait, what did this beat then? What did switch shot beat? Substantial shot? He doesn't play substantial shot. It doesn't have range. Like, that's really not the play for this guy. He's running... I mean, I guess he could run the grasp, but the grasp kills her, right? So she doesn't... She's not playing shot against grasp. I don't know what this play was. On his side, it's obvious, right? Every beat, he chose something to disrespect. Except last beat. Last beat, he played dodge. Dodge is whatever. Hey, Viddy! Yeah, so I'm just wrapping this up. Substantial install. Substantial install is prio 2, power 5, 6, 7. Oh, okay. That's actually fair. Substantial install. But he's not going to play substantial install is the thing. That doesn't make sense when he has better and safer plays. So, like, you play against the experimental install, you play against the experimental shot, you play against the... Does he have range on that? No, he doesn't. So you play against the residual grasp and the alchemic grasp. Substantial install, okay, is questionable then. If that was the aim, was to clash substantial install, I mean, okay, I approve of the hard reads, right? But I don't think that's the play for Riflam. Although this has been a very interesting Riflam. This Riflam is definitely way more gumption-y than I would have expected. And it served him very well, because if you just kind of go all out early enough on a couple of good reads, then your ramp goes up way faster than hers, and now he has the advantage. It reminds me a lot of the Riflam matchup, honestly. Of the Riflam matchup, that is. Alright, well, let's watch this thing's glorious demise.
Be gone!
He will not be gone.
Let me show you how it's done.
I'm sorry, my ancestor.
Knowledge is the only real power.
It was still solid Magdelina play. She played a little bit too cautiously early on. But it's not like it was bad play. It's just that he called it and he took advantage of it, and it was brutal.